And you were still young. You were still essentially in your mid-20s when you started there,
Right.
maybe a little closer to your later
Yeah.
20s. But was there mentors? Was there people that you
Yeah.
looked up to that you feel steered you in a
Yeah.
direction that completely influenced your
Yeah.
later projects?
Totally. I went from one mentor to, like, my career rose very rapidly through the organization, and I went from one mentor to the next. I became one mentor's protege after another. So my career went really fast. After my first 6 months there, they offered me a full-time job and a promotion, and they made me assistant manager of the department that had hired me. And so the manager was briefly my mentor, but there was some reorganization that took place. I'm not going to remember the timelines exactly, but like within another 6 months. And so I was put in charge of this department after only being there for slightly over a year. And then my
Wow.
mentor became the director of the advertising department, which was
Right.
um, the senior most person in the whole advertising department.
Yeah.
That was 80% of the revenue. So I'm here with 1.5 years of experience, and I'm running the product development, which was also responsible for the pricing of all of the advertising that was 80% of the revenue of this Toronto Star. And it was quite a responsibility. It was exciting, but I didn't really know, like, I was still so young and naive. I didn't really appreciate the magnitude of all of this. And I would go into meetings and I wouldn't know who anybody there was. And so I would just speak my mind, and I would walk out and someone would say, do you know who you, like, you said you disagree, and do you know who was in that meeting? I'm like, no, who was that guy? And it's like,
Wow.
he's the vice president of marketing. He's the guy that your boss reports to, and he reports to the boss.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't, I hope nothing bad happened, but I didn't really, like, I didn't know enough.
Interesting career choice, yeah.
Yeah,
But this is the
I
kind of
didn't.
thing. This is probably why you moved up so quickly, is because you were unafraid
Yeah.
to and you've always been kind of, when it comes to this kind of stuff, certainly in my mind, for you, one of the things I think about is that you are not risk averse when it comes to this kind of contribution. You were young, you were cocky, which you should have been, because you were very smart, and and you ended up moving up very quickly, as you said. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that your passion drove you first, and then as you gain knowledge, and you're like a sponge, like I said, on a personal level with you when it comes to that stuff. And you really kind of anchored yourself as the demand, let's say, for internet access on and digital formats for all media started to grow in the late 90s.